understand how frustrating it is when you set a goal for yourself, try to dabble with it for a few days, and then just completely forget about it. It occasionally crosses your mind, but nothing to get you actually moving. So why keep setting these goals if we're not even going to follow through on them? Now, luckily, there is a way to get around this dilemma, and it personally has worked wonders for me. If you want to change your life, you first need to have a clear vision of what you're doing, where you're going, and where you don't want to be. In this video, I'm going to share with you my methods of how easy it is to define your goals, choose the tasks that will have the greatest impact on those goals, and creating a schedule that works for you, not against you, in order for you to get those deep work sessions in, allowing space and time to make some real progress. Now, ask yourself this: what is your dream life? Where are you currently? And what is the type of life you're trying to run away from? I've heard this topic mentioned a few times from some other creators, and they call this last one the anti-vision, and I will get to that in just a second. So, a fun way of starting this activity is getting yourself a blank piece of paper. That's right, I'm calling you to action. You better start taking it. Okay, so don't come after me. I'm literally just gonna use like a regular little notebook and just a normal pen. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. I just want you to start. So first, what we're gonna do is section it off into 3 different parts. In the first box, we are going to call it the anti-vision. And we're just going to draw a little arrow going into the middle box. The middle box, you're going to write your dream self. And in the third box, you're going to label it your current self. And you can draw a little arrow going into the middle box, your dream self. Fun little thing you can do is you can draw a little stick figure in each of these boxes just to get you going. But leave enough space for some writing. Now, you can kind of jump back and forth between the different boxes as you're writing your list, but I'm going to start with my dream self box. So, my dream self, I would be running a small business of some sort and multiple streams of income to replace my 9-to-5 job. More specifically, I'm going to be working towards this channel and maybe towards my other personal small business. And I'm not going to go too much into specifics here. Feel free to do that for yourself, but I don't want to make this video too long. So be as detailed as you want going into this. Another one of my goals is feeding me and my family healthy foods that give us energy. Having some sort of education time for me and my kid. That could look like reading or watching informational documentaries, could be anything. You can also add more general traits that you would like to take on. For example, you want to be more committed, or you want to be more healthy, consistent, focused, and so on. You don't necessarily have to add every single thing, but try to get the general ones that you would like to see yourself accomplish within the next 6 months. Now, moving on to the first box of your anti-vision. This is where you don't want to end up. And the reason why we want to lay out our anti-vision is more of like a reminder to yourself of what will happen if you don't start taking action and actually working towards your goals. These are your lowest standards for yourself, and it puts a whole new perspective on what direction you actually want to go with your life. But some of the things that I wrote down are having a foggy and unfocused brain, eating unhealthy foods, as well as my family, and pretty much never exercising or leaving my house, never traveling or accomplishing anything significant or impactful to others. And this may sound really harsh, but these are just projections of where I don't want my life to end up, and that's perfectly normal to have. I don't want to be a lazy couch potato doing absolutely nothing with my life, uneducating my kids, and the point is to kind of scare you. It's to kind of light that fire underneath you. Now, for your current self box, you're going to list out everything that you are currently doing. What are your current habits and traits that you have? You're gonna have to be a little bit brutally honest with yourself. Now, for me personally, I am working a 9-to-5 job, but in reality, you have to pay the bills, and I have a family to feed. So this 9-to-5 job is more of just a stepping stone in order for me to achieve my other dreams. I am also spending time every single day towards my YouTube channel and also my personal business. So that is something that I'm doing good, but spending more time, I could. And at least 5 to 7 days, I am getting some sort of physical activity, whether it's weights, yoga, or just walking. Another thing that I will say is about 90% of foods coming into my house are healthy, but they could be on the healthier side. And another one of my issues is that my family likes to eat out like 1 to 3 times a week, and we could definitely be saving money on that. Another thing I'm going to call myself out on is my lack of consistency. There are some things I'm consistent with, but there are some things that I get distracted on and definitely procrastinate, especially if it's like slow at my job. I tend towards scrolling on YouTube instead of doing something productive, like spending time towards my writing or my YouTube channel. And do some self-reflection between your current self and your dream self. And are some of these actions actually causing you to go in the direction of your anti-vision, or are they helping you go towards your dream self? Now, the second part to this activity is to pick the 3 most important tasks to get you from your current self to your dream self, while also moving in the opposite direction of your anti-vision. A simple way of picking the best tasks to act on is 1, try choosing something that you're already doing in your current life and just improving on it. Maybe you already have the habit of working on your YouTube channel or working on another project of yours, but you could be spending more time doing it, or making it more productive time, focusing more, not getting distracted so easily. And 2 is choosing something from your dream self list. The only way that you can actually become your dream self or future self is by doing those exact things. If you want to become healthier, you need to start eating healthier. You need to start implementing that habit into your life, or it's not going to happen. There is no special sauce to just make it happen. You need to make it happen now, and you need to plan accordingly. Set yourself up for success so you can grow that new habit or skill. Dedicate yourself to getting that task done 1 day at a time. You can't live for the future, and you cannot live in the past. It's also important to note that you should also be educating yourself on these tasks, because obviously if you're doing something for a long time and you don't see any improvement, you need to tackle it a different way. It doesn't mean you can keep doing the same things expecting different outcomes. There will always be a way that you can improve or be more productive with that task. That's why we're only choosing 3, because you gotta make sure you get these right. Don't let ignorance be the reason you don't accomplish something. Similar to school, when you are learning something new, you listen, you take notes, and then you actually apply that knowledge. Maybe not outside of school, but for your homework you definitely do. There's no point in learning something if you don't at least try it out. Knowledge is useless without application. The third part of how I create my deep work routine and becoming my dream self is creating an actual schedule and properly organizing my tasks for the day. Now, what I used to do is write out every task like a chore list. The problem with that is that I would start checking things off, but those tasks that I was checking off first were the low maintenance ones. They weren't actually the more impactful tasks, and I would get to the more important tasks later in the day, and sometimes I wouldn't even finish it because I would just have no energy left from doing all these little maintenance tasks first. That was my problem. I spent too much time and energy on low energy tasks. So it's important to note what the impactful tasks and high value tasks are versus the maintenance ones. Making sure that you do get those maintenance tasks, the things that you need to function your house, function your family. I need to feed my kid, I need to clean my house, doing laundry, but also including the high value tasks, which are the things that make the biggest difference in actually you getting towards your goal. Cleaning the dishes is not going to get you towards your goal. So let me show you what I've written in my notebook, and hopefully you can follow along between these maintenance tasks and high value tasks. You can see my list here. At the top I have my high value category, and you really only want to fill this with 1 or 2 things, maybe 3, and to really make sure you hunker down on them and not get overloaded with too many things. The point of the high value task is that it will have the biggest impact on whatever goals you have. So keep that in mind when picking new ones to fill in when you complete the other ones. My other list is the maintenance categories, which include health, family, and household chores. These are the tasks I try to do later in the day because yes, they are very important to the values for my household and family. If you want to do greater things and become a greater person, you gotta do more than just the regular things. The second thing that you can do with your list, and this is completely optional, but I did create another video on this, so I will link that down below, and this is the image that I'm using, which pretty much includes all of my tasks for the day, high value and maintenance ones, but it's a really great way of seeing what time you actually have in a day. Yes, we all have 24 hours, but how much time do you actually spend sleeping, going to your work, commuting, spending time with your family, working on your projects? This allows you to see everything and allocate the correct amount of time that you have towards accomplishing your goals. Another thing you can do, and if you don't want to create this big chart, is just create a list like I kind of explained before, but instead, easy enough, you just put numbers next to them. You say, I'm gonna do this number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, so you make sure that you do your number 1 and 2 first, which could be your high value tasks. Or if you have a kid like me, if you're doing your deep work sessions with breaks, what are some of the maintenance tasks that you can fit in between those breaks? And I'm going to touch on this in just a second. It could be doing a 15-minute workout, making your kids breakfast or lunch. It could also just be taking the dog out. It could be any low maintenance task that you fit in the break of your deep work session, of your high value tasks. What was I talking about earlier? Taking breaks. If you want to avoid burnout by doing the more mentally challenging tasks first, I'd like to introduce you to the Pomodoro effect. And forgive me if I said that wrong, but this is where you plan to do your deep work in sessions, either 45 to 90 minutes, and then you take a 15-minute break. Then working again for another 45 or 90 minutes, and really repeating the process until the hard work is finished. But you still have those little 15-minute breaks that you can use to go wash the dishes real quick, or like I said, make yourself some food. You should also be making sure that your environment is prime for getting these deep work sessions in. Things that I commonly do is I put my phone on silent or even in the other room when I'm trying to work. Just try to remove as many distractions from your environment as possible. Another thing you may not realize is actually affecting your work is the people that you're surrounded by on a daily basis. Are these people telling you positive things, encouraging you to accomplish your goals, or are they bringing you down and just distracting you from getting any work done? The real friends in your life are going to be the people who understand that sometimes you will need your time and space. People who are not your friends are the people who are constantly doubting yourself and your dreams. They say things like, no, you can do that later. What's the point of even doing better? Why do you have to wake up and work out at this time? What's the point of improving yourself? A real friend will not be mad or upset with you if you just want to set some goals for yourself. The people who pressure you into doing things that you don't want to do or that don't align with your values, those are not your friends. And they will try to distract you so that you stay comfortable just like them. Those people don't push themselves in life and are comfortable with just staying average. So if you're still here, thank you. By now, you should have defined your goals by listing where you are, where you want to be, and where you don't want to be. Then, from those, have chosen 2 to 3 high-value tasks that you can do to get you moving towards your goals, and learning how to implement those into a legitimate schedule for yourself that works with your life, and making sure you're planning time for these deep work sessions. With all that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful December, and I will see you in the next one.